I want to first shout out my Celtics for making it to the NBA Finals. Yeah, I'm saying shouts out to Boston. Most likely going up against Dallas. But most likely, can Dallas close it out? This game, Minnesota has been tired all series, man. Minnesota, I think going 7 with the Denver Nuggets really took Minnesota out of it because now it's like they don't have like to go from playing Denver to playing fucking Kyrie and Luka when Kyrie and Luka ain't even have to go to 10 yet. This entire playoff run is like that's a tall task, you know what I mean? So Celtics, we got to the finals as we should. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, we're playing injured teams and shit," as if like we probably wouldn't be going to the finals still. Like I don't really see a team beating us in 7. We're probably not going to win the finals if we don't have Kate. Actually, we have a good chance of still winning the finals, but I think the job would be a lot easier if we had Kristaps Porzingis. So we'll see what happens to that, man. Anyway, New Jersey alert. Damn, imagine if I actually worked out. Like I'm kind of looking swole right now. Imagine if I actually took my workout seriously. Anyway, we got New Jersey alert. You know what I'm saying? Nike, Nigel Laney. It's a nice jersey. I'm sitting on the shit. Pause. Nice 140. Oh, this is probably the coolest part about the jersey. Hold on, let me show y'all because I'm not even color coordinating. I just kind of threw it on because I got I'm still doing laundry and shit today. But this part's pretty cool. They got like a 1 of 44 tag right here, which is pretty cool. They ain't really need to put all this text here and shit like that, but Benaja. And then we weren't gonna get her married name on it. You know what I'm saying? Plus on some real shit, it was the only one on Nike. Like they only had her maiden name on Nike, but I was just like, that's when I started watching Benaja anyway. So. Fuck it, might as well get it because Laney. It's kind of cleaner. I think it's kind of cleaner because like she has Laney Hamilton on it now, but I think the Laney one is kind of cleaner. Fofo, make sure all your kids don't grow. Anyway, what am I going to talk about in this video? This video, I was going to do a little power rankings video. But then I realized I wanted to talk about 2 things, and I'm going to make 2 separate videos. The first thing I want to talk about was the Liberty and whether or not we panic as fans. In my previous video, my previous Liberty rant, this isn't a Liberty rant. This is an introduction to a Liberty detail breakdown. So what I'm going to do from here on out, even during the wins, I'm going to actually start taking clips from the games and seeing if I can, hopefully YouTube lets me do this, but seeing if I can analyze certain clips in the games, what I see and what I think we need to improve on, and how we can be basically a better team offensively and defensively, which is really cool because I get to take the defensive side, shit that I see on defense, and shit that I see just energy shifts in the game, and get to analyze them with you all so we can see how the Liberty can become better just through my eyes, right? That's what I'm going to do. So this video is an introduction to that because what I noticed with the Liberty in the last 2 games, back-to-back L's against Chicago and Minnesota. Now, I'm not saying Minnesota, not taking anything away from Minnesota. Minnesota is going to be a great team this year. Lena Smith, she's killing it. Fee's always going to kill it. They shot 50% from 3 against us, so it was kind of a tall task. But even though we still did tie the game at like 55 and still ended up losing, the one thing I noticed during that game, which is what prompted me to make the last video due to our loss against Chicago, was that the main things I noticed, there were 3 things I noticed. Basketball IQ, individual skill, and team personnel. Like KYP, know your personnel. We always say know your personnel as in when we're defending, but know your personnel as in the Liberty team. What I noticed with the Liberty team is like, I don't know if I put this on coaching or like Sandy, the head coaching, but what I noticed on the Liberty team, and I noticed on a lot of teams, really, we could take Los Angeles as the best example because what is Kurt doing? I don't fucking know. But looking at the Liberty, it seems to me like certain teams in the W don't know their own personnel. Right. So the things I want to do, obviously, is just like scouting videos for the Liberty and like scouting different teams and whatnot. But the shit that I noticed with with certain teams is they don't really know their own team. They don't know their own players. They don't know the strengths of their own players. They don't know the weaknesses of their own players. And before you can set out a game plan or before you can scout out another team and how you're going to stop this player, how you're going to stop this team, you have to first know your own personnel. And I don't think the Liberty knows or know their own personnel, right? Because if you knew your own personnel, you would operate the team in a different way, right? If you know that Sabrina kind of struggles, well, this is actually a point that proves this. That doesn't prove this. But if you know Sabrina struggles with dribbling the ball, take the ball out of her hands, which Sandy did. She puts her at the 2, even though that is still problematic. But if you know this certain lineup doesn't attack the hoop or doesn't generate fouls or doesn't get to the free throw line, you're not supposed to play them when it's time to, clutch up, right? In the clutch, you're not going to play certain players. If this player can't protect the ball, has bad tendency to protect the ball, you're not going to play them in the clutch. If this player makes too many turnovers, the less playing time they see. If you have a player that's great in the post, can get you a post bucket, can draw doubles, you're going to feed that player, get that player going early so you can establish the defense and see how the defense responds to it. If you know your personnel, you operate the team differently. And the thing I see, which we talked about in the college game as well, is the colleges, these coaching staff will run the same type of plays for these players, expect the players to run these plays to perfection, or at least have a system that they plug the players in without knowing the type of player they're plugging into the system. So I think everything comes back to the player. Before you can put them in a set, you have to make sure or know what your player is capable of doing. And that's what I think the Liberty's biggest struggle is right now. They don't really know they don't truly know what their players are capable of doing. I think it's kind of like just figure it out yourself. You get what I'm saying? It's like, we're going to run this set, see if you guys can make it work. Now, I'm not saying they're just out there bullshitting, but it's more so like, if I'm looking at the Liberty, if I'm scouting against the Liberty, I know Sabrina doesn't like physical, contact, on defense, right? She struggles with that. So whatever matchup I have against Sabrina, obviously she's going to run around, look for a 3 ball. When she puts that ball on the ground, you got to blitz her. Get up on her. Don't let her breathe. When that ball is on the ground, make her pick up the ball. She tends to pick up the ball a lot. I'm scouting that. Sloot, I'm helping off Sloot because I know Sloot doesn't really want to shoot. Or if I get Sloot anywhere in the mid-range, all we're trying to do is cut off her path to the hoop, make her take a long 2, make her shoot a mid-range, because that's not really what she wants to do. She's not really looking to score on offense. So if I'm scouting against the Liberty, I'm looking at these things. JJ gets frustrated in certain parts and doesn't hustle if, you're more energized or you have more hustle than her. She'll kind of concede battles in the post, and she doesn't work well out of the double team in the post, or she doesn't find the right option. It's just if I'm scouting against Liberty, I see what weaknesses they need to improve on. So my question is, why don't you have someone on your team scouting your own team? You should have someone that's identifying the weaknesses and strengths of your team, so that now when you get put back into the set, whatever set Sandy wants to run, it's more cohesive, right? Or it's more flexible because, okay, we can give Niara a few touches. Sab and Niara in the pick and roll works really well. Leone is a great 3-and-D player. We're going to give her more minutes in this lineup. We're going to put Sab at the 1 if they don't have the 1 pressuring, playing 94 feet against the guards. If we're going up against a Kennedy Carter or a Dana Evans, right, we're not going to play this lineup because obviously our players aren't built for that, right? We can't have Sab bringing up the ball, being guarded by Kennedy Carter 94 feet or something like that. It's probably not going to end well, right? So my whole thing is scout your own players first. You should at least know your own players first. And that goes from their play all the way to their, strengths, weaknesses, and their mental. You should know their behaviors. You should know if you have to coach a player to hustle or not, how much heart a player has. You got to know the type of player you put on the floor, or else you shouldn't be surprised by the result that you get when the going gets tough, or when your team, what is this player's tendency to relax when your team goes on a good run, goes up 10-0, goes on a 20-2 run. What type of player do you have in these certain situations? It's your job as the team to know that first. That way you can improve the team and really see what the benchmark is for your team. Simply put, if you don't know your team, if you don't know your team's actual personnel, if you don't know your team's skill set, their mentality, their tendencies, you have to answer those questions first, or you're never going to get to a point where everyone's on the same page. And if you're not on the same page, what's been happening to the Liberty is just going to continuously happen. You're going to win some here and there, and you're going to lose some here and there, but you're not going to have consistency. As long as everyone's not on the same page about their roles, where they need to improve, where they're already good at, you're never going to be on the same page. And if you're not on the same page, there's no hope for consistency. So that's all I have to say about that. It's not really a Liberty rant, but it's just an observation I see, not just with the Liberty, but with teams around the W as well. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that. It's just my perspective on the Liberty situation right now. Is it time to panic? It's not really time to panic, but I will say I've had these concerns for like the past 3 years about the team. So I guess I'm not really late to the party, but that's going to do it for this video. If you all enjoyed it, you know what to do. Stay tuned. We're going to do these detailed videos later. I really have to check the YouTube guidelines so I know how to kind of avoid the copyright if I am going to do this. So I think they allow pictures anyway. So it shouldn't be crazy. I'm not going to be playing clips, but it should be like pictures. I'm going to freeze the clips that I play, so we should be okay. But that's going to do it. I'm out of here. Take care. See you guys later. Peace.